everybody, thank you for joining me. We have got a session of Pilates and mindfulness this evening. So I'm going to start off going through a half-an-hour session of Pilates. We're going to do a nice warm-up. We're going to go through the main cues of Pilates, things to think about in terms of breathing, your posture and your movement quality, so we can kind of block out any noise and stress and hecticness, and we can just concentrate on what's going on in our bodies, thinking about our breathing, thinking about our movement, and trying to keep pain-free and keep that range of movement going. After our Pilates, we've then got a mindfulness session, so Di from Time to Flourish is going to be joining us, and she's got a lovely session of mindfulness introduction, and then we'll do a meditation as well, a guided meditation. So hopefully this joint session should leave you feeling nice and relaxed and a little bit more lifted, and hopefully get that body moving a little bit. Okay, so we're going to start off with our Pilates first. So I just want you to come up onto your mat or onto the carpet, the floor, whatever you're doing at home, and we're going to take our feet and place them at hip distance, okay? We're just going to take a pause and then think about the next sort of segment through your body coming up to your knees. So we don't want those knees locked out. You just want them soft. We're not bending down, but you just want to have a nice softness through there. And then coming up to the pelvis. If I stand sideways on, you should be able to see that we can get that tilt through the lower back and then release back out again. So we're just going to start thinking about getting some of those pelvic tilts, getting a little bit of movement through that lower back. Now as you're doing this, just place one hand onto your chest. We're trying to get that dissociation or that separation of movement. So you're moving and tilting that pelvis without the ribcage lifting or lowering. We're not wanting to get that elevation and depression of the ribcage just yet. So just work through and then pause at that midpoint. So that midpoint is what we call neutral in Pilates, okay? So it just means that you're not tilting forwards. If you know you've got quite a curve, you're quite lordotic, tends to put a little bit more pressure through that lower back. So just taking that pressure off without kind of slumping down. So this is our neutral position which we use whether we're in four-point kneeling, standing, prone, however we are. We're just going to think about gently coming into that neutral. Lifting up to the rib cage now. Just want that rib cage to stay nice and connected. So think about a spring maybe coming from the ribs to the top of the hips here. So you're keeping that nice and strong. We're not lifting and lowering from here, we're just keeping that connection. And then we're going to open out through the front of the chest. So we're not drawing those shoulders back or coming into some sort of soldier position. We're just keeping nice and released. Taking that tension out so the upper triangle can stay nice and released, and those shoulder blades are going to glide together and down. And as we do that, you're just going to think about a piece of cotton lengthening up your head. So just pause for a second in that position. Okay, we're going to think about the breathing for a second. So with Pilates, we like to think about the rib cage moving. So if you take your hands and just place them around the sides, nice and high up, not right down low onto your waist, so you can feel those ribs underneath your hands from there. We're slowly going to think about having an inhale coming through the nose, and as you do that, that rib cage expands out to the side, and then just completely release. Let that exhale, all the air coming out. Same thing again. So we're looking for that lateral breathing, that movement through the rib cage. Okay, so don't rush. And just think about that expansion and then release. So if you find those shoulders are creeping up as you breathe in, just try and release out through the shoulders and open up through the side and release from there. Lovely, well done. Okay, take those hands down by your side, lengthen through the top of the head. We're going to breathe in to prepare, and as you breathe out, drop that chin down, and then we're going to curl upper back, mid back, lower back. We're coming into roll down, coming all the way down, and then just pause at that end range. It doesn't matter how far you're down, or if you're just coming up through to the knees, we just want that fold. We're going to hold to breathe in, and then slowly restack back up. Tuck that tailbone and then restack one by one. So we're going to start to think about that spine. I'll do another one and I'll stand on the side so you can see what's going on through the back. We want those hips to stay above knees and ankles, okay? So as you come back, we don't want to keep the back straight and send the hips out. We want to feel that spine. Imagine a ribbon being pulled over a pencil maybe. So as you drop the chin down, then you just feel that fold. Release the neck and shoulders so there's no tension through there. Keep those knees a little bit soft. Get that curl. Just pause if you need to release the neck and shoulders in case we're tensing up through there. And then keep that fold. Lower down. Come through to that end range. Hold for the in-breath. And then slowly draw back up again. Opening through the hips first. So imagine building blocks. So you're stacking one block on top of the other till we draw back up. And then loosen and roll through those shoulders. Lovely, well done. And next we're going to take those feet into that wide leg position. Keep that neutral through the pelvis, rib cage nice and soft, open through the chest, long through that neck as we breathe in. On the out breath, drop the chin down and fold upper back, mid back, lower back. Get that fold coming down again to the end of range. And then float those hands gently over towards the left. Try and keep those legs straight if you can. You might want to wriggle your feet a little bit further apart so you get that fold down. And we're going to open up that top arm up towards the ceiling. Feel that rotation through the mid-back and just take a second to think about the breathing that we did that cueing to begin with. So think about that lateral breathing, opening through the rib cage on the stretch. And then gently draw back down. Release the neck and shoulders. They'll always want to creep up and get all that tension through, so we're just going to take that pause. Open up again through that top arm. That left arm comes up towards the ceiling. And take a second to think about that breathing. Expand through the rib cage on the in-breath and release as you breathe out. Fold that arm down. Come back round to the centre. Release, just get an extra stretch in that position. And then when you're ready, slowly draw back up. Tuck that tailbone and then restack one by one. Loosen and roll through those shoulders. Bend those knees and walk those feet back in. Lovely. Okay, next we're going to do foot series. So we're going to think a little bit about balance, a little bit about weight transfer as well. So from that start position, we're going to keep our back nice and straight. Float those arms up and sink down into those heels. Okay, so just take a second to come into that position. I'll come sideways on so you can see me from here. And then we're going to lift those heels up. We're staying the same height, we're just floating the heels up, breathing in. And then as you breathe out, we're going to take the arms up to the ceiling and straighten through those legs. So we're balancing up on our tiptoes and then gently float back down. And again, get that sink. Float the heels. Stand up nice and tall, hold, breathe in. And then gently control as we come back down. Excellent, 2 more of these. So we're going to sink down. Get that flow to the heels. Gently draw back up. Pause for the in-breath and control as we lower back down. Last one. Sink down, get that hold. Lift the heels, breathing in. Come up nice and straight. Pause for that in-breath. Think about that ribcage staying connected. And then gently lower back down. Loosen and roll through those shoulders. Lovely. Okay. We're just going to come on and just do a balance. Okay, so this is a cueing exercise again, and it's just starting to think about where you can feel that work coming from. So we're just going to come up into a heel raise on that right hand side. We're going to keep that pelvis nice and level, so you don't want to be dropping down. Keep nice and level. Feel that standing leg stabilising and supporting through on that left leg. And then we're gently going to lift up and get a hold from there. Relax through those shoulders. So same thing, we're going to keep this upper triangle nice and relaxed. We're going to keep that work coming through the glute, your hip muscle on that standing leg, and we're going to use that breathing. So relax through the arms and then gently lower back down. Lovely, well done. Okay, don't worry if you're wobbling a little bit. It's perfectly normal. It's something that you can use this as a cueing exercise in the morning after you brush your teeth, and just taking a second and thinking about neutral through the pelvis. Nice and level, okay? Ribcage stays connected, we relax through the shoulders, and we're gently going to float that foot up. Holding in that position, release the shoulders. Think about getting that nice, strong lift through the pelvic floor, through that centre, and on the out breath, gently lowering back down. Lovely. Right, nice shake out through those legs and through those arms. We'll take a little bit of a breather, and then we're going to come into seated for our next set of exercises. Okay, so for our next set of exercises, we're going to come down into seated. We'll do exactly the same cues as we do when we're in standing. So we're going to think about feet and knees being hip distance, and then we'll come up to the pelvis, okay? We're just going to keep the pelvis in that nice and upright position. If you're feeling any lower back pain, or you're feeling like you'll be dropped into this position, then just take a cushion, take a block, take something that's just going to lift you up a little bit higher so it feels a little bit more comfortable to maintain this position. Rib cage again is going to stay connected and nice and open through the chest, okay? So we don't want to fall down through the upper back. We're going to think about keeping that nice long spine, release and open through the chest, and that piece of cotton lifting up nice and high. So we're going to do roll up first of all, which is about getting that movement through the pelvis. So think about the pelvic tilts that we did in the warm-up, and we're just going to get that tilt again, where you tuck that tailbone underneath you, lift your pelvis towards you, and you come into that nice C shape, okay? And then we restack back up again. So this is all about getting that movement through the pelvis. Tuck that tailbone underneath you, connect through the centre so ribcage stays nice and strong, connected to those hips. We're going to hold in that position for an in-breath and restack and lengthen again as we draw back up. So just think about that quality of the movement. As you tuck that tailbone, keep the connection through the centre and get that pause for the in-breath and then restack back up. Okay, watch point is from this ribcage. As we go back, you don't want to be lifting the ribcage and leaning back. It puts more pressure through that lower back and you're opening out through that front line, through that six-pack muscle. We want to work those deep abdominals. So we want to get that tuck. Okay, we're going to do 6 of these. So tuck that tailbone, come down into that nice deep C shape, hold for the in-breath, and then control that movement back up, lifting up nice and tall. Same thing again. Tuck that tailbone and gently draw down, hold there for the in-breath, restack back up. Lovely, lengthen through that spine. 4 more of these. So really try and think about that technique. Are you getting the feel of that tilting? Are you feeling that connection through the centre? That rib cage is staying down, we're not lifting and opening up. And then restack back up, lengthen nice and tall. And again, 2 more of these. Get that tilt, 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 tilt. Hold the in-breath and then gently draw back up. Last one. If you're getting any pain through the lower back, then you can either, we use the soft ball sometimes, so if you haven't got anything at home, use a cushion, wedge something underneath just so you're kind of tilting into something. There's a bit of resistance. But just for now, just leave out, we can just come into the stretch. We'll pause and wait till we catch up. Last one, breathing in. And then restack back up. Lengthen through that spine. Feet together, allow those knees to open out, and then just fold forwards. Drop that chin down, and get that nice reach away with the arms. Hold in that position for 2 breaths, thinking about that opening through the rib cage, and then release as we breathe out. Same thing again, breathing in, and getting that release as we breathe out. Gently draw back up, and bring those feet so they're hip distance. Okay, all of these exercises will be completely pain-free, so if you are feeling anything through the lower back, or if you feel anything through your shoulders at any point, just give yourself a breather, have a stop. You can always drop me an email or a message. We'll be posting this on to YouTube, so you can always do the routine later if you just wanted to chat through anything or any adaptations that you might need. Okay, so next time we're going to come into that same C shape. We're going to curl down, 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 and pause. Think about that connection, getting that nice lift through pelvic floor. Feet are going to be flat down, and when you're ready, we're going to extend out on that one leg and return. Same thing, and return. So we're alternating from one side to the other. Okay, we're going to breathe out as we extend, in to return. Don't worry too much if you're new to Pilates about the breathing. As long as you keep breathing, it's something that you can add in later on. We just want to get you moving, get that freedom of movement and get a little bit of strength. And then last two, and return. Keep that tilt, keep that C shape, hold, restack back up, lift up nice and tall, feet together, and then fold down. Get that lovely stretch. Opening through those hips as you reach those arms away. Nice deep breath. And then gently draw back up and place those feet down from there. Lovely. Okay, last set in this position. Strong through that centre. Get that tilt, 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 tilt. Coming down and hold. Just make sure those feet are nice and flat on the floor. Keeping that tilt so you feel that centre working hard. And then we're going to float just that one arm up and return. So try and breathe out as you lift. Breathe in to return. And again. So feel that work increase slightly as that arm lifts up. But we're going to maintain that connection through the centre. You don't want to increase that work for the lower back, so as your arm comes up, don't tilt back into it. You want to maintain last two, that nice deep C shape, loading through those deep abdominals. Last one, draw back down, restack, back up. Fantastic, well done ladies. Nice stretch out, open through those hips, reach those arms forwards, breathing in. Drop that chin to your chest. And then restack back up. Lovely. Okay, from here, we're just going to change and come into 4-point kneeling. So, 1, 2, 2. Come down. Feet and knees hip distance again. So we're going to do our same cues. We're going to be open through the front of the chest. And make sure wrists are below shoulders, okay? And the same thing that your knees are below your hips, that we're not gliding back too far. So we're in a nice rectangle position, or square position, long through the neck. Just have a move of that pelvis now. So we're just going to tilt down and then back up. So a little bit like the cat stretch, just mobilise and then pause at that midpoint, okay? So that midpoint is neutral. From here, if anyone has got any knee issues or knee pain or that's uncomfortable, then obviously place the cushion underneath those knees or give yourself a little bit of extra padding, but you don't want it to be painful. We're going to breathe in to prepare. On the out breath, weight goes down into the toes and we're just going to hover those knees, breathing in and then gently lower. Same thing again. Hover to lift. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit further and then lower those knees, keep the hold a little bit longer. Okay? But if not, we're just going to work with the breathing up on the in-breath and then gently lower. 3 more of these, getting that lift, holding on the in-breath and lower as you breathe out. Last 2. Try and keep an eye on those shoulders, because as we lift up, you don't want those shoulders to glide forward, so keep those shoulders nice and stable. Last 1. So push into the hands, push into the toes and lift up from that lower back. Knees come down and then stretch out into the shell stretch. Take those hips back over heels. Get that nice length as you reach out and away from there. Perfect. And come back up into 4-point kneeling. Okay. From here, we're going to do our swimming leg. So we're going to take that leg out into extension. We're going to extend, stretch through that knee out towards the toes if you're trying to reach to the skirting board or something behind you. We don't have to be all the way up at the moment. We're going to come down in the diagonal because we're just going to do the first level and bring that foot back in. Okay, watch points. We're trying to avoid getting a weight shift over to one side, okay? And then also, as you extend away, you don't want that hip to drop. So we're keeping it at a lower level, but we're really thinking about technique. So we're going to lift through that pelvic floor, strong through that centre, open through the chest, float that foot and extend away without taking the weight over the opposite side too much and without dropping that hip down. Okay, there's a lot to think about. and then alternate onto the opposite side. Extend out and away. Keep that pelvis nice and level, and then draw back in. And again, extend and hold, and draw back in. Alternate onto the opposite side. Extend and hold, and draw back in. 2 more. If you want to now reach that leg so you're taking that leg out a little bit more straight so it's not down on the diagonal, then you can do that. Last one, extend out and away. Long through the back of the neck, don't lose that upper back posture, okay? It's really easy to drop or let that head swing down to look beneath you. You want to maintain that upper back posture. Draw back in, hips back, and reach those arms away. Nice deep breath. And then release from there. Lovely. So a lot of these movements might be familiar to you, but I just want you to start thinking about the technique, about what's going on through the rest of your body. When you're doing leg extensions, what's happening at your shoulders, what's happening at your head. When you're lifting on the opposite side, you're feeling stronger on one side, weaker on the other. If you keep these movements slow and keep them at a lower level to begin with, you start to get that feedback and learn a little bit more about what's going on in your body and maybe little bits that we need to work on. And then we can start loading a little bit more, we can increase the reps, we can make the exercises a little bit harder, but we've got to get the basics right first. Okay, so that's our next set of exercise. I'm going to have a quick breather, have a mouthful of water, and then we're going to come down into side lying for the next exercise. Okay, so for this exercise we're going to be in side lying. We're going to think again about those position starting at the shoulder to begin with. So we don't want to be dropping down, you want to be pushing up and away, letting yourself use the muscle stabilising the shoulder and lengthening open through that chest up to this top shoulder. We're going to keep long through this torso, rib cage is connected, so try and avoid flaring and lifting up. Keep that connection so we can get that lifted pelvic floor. Lower leg is going to be bent, so you want the lower leg to be parallel with the bottom of the mat. Top leg is straight and just resting down in the centre there. We're going to squeeze through that glute on the lower leg to lift that hip up and get that hold in that position. Just maintain that for a second. We're going to breathe in and we lower to a dip and draw straight back up again. Okay, as we're doing this exercise, keep that rib cage connected. Lengthen up away from the shoulder towards the ceiling as we get that dip and lift. Now watch through neck and shoulder. If you are tight or stiff through neck and shoulders, you can feel this a little bit through there. So just do less reps and then come down into the shell stretch. Hold to breathe in, lower back down. Lovely, well done. And then take that stretch away. So this is just as important to take that pressure off the neck and shoulders, because the last thing we want is to make the neck and shoulders much tighter when we're doing an exercise to try and work through the glutes and through the obliques. Nice deep breath. And then come back into position. Exactly the same thing again. Elbow underneath that shoulder, open through the chest, lift up from here and hold. This time we're going to float that lower leg up and down. So we're looking at keeping stable, so there's no movement through the torso. And this pelvis is nice and stable, so you just feel this movement coming through the hips. Okay, if you're feeling it through the neck and shoulders, come out into the stretch now. If not, we've just got 2 more. Last one. And draw back down. Lovely. Knees come in and get that nice stretch out. Use that breathing. Give yourself a pause for there. Breathing in, open through that rib cage. And release. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to come around onto the opposite side. Elbow again underneath shoulder. Lower leg bent, quite a steep angle through the thigh. Foot down, open the chest. Connect through the centre, lift through that lower hip and hold into that position. Okay, if you want to extend that arm out, you can. We're lowering and draw back up. Lower and lift. Keep that upper back posture. Keep long through the neck. Don't let that flexion, drop down to look down your body. You want to keep nice and open through that chest. Same thing, lower hips back onto heels if you want to, if you're feeling it through the neck. Last two, pause, hold that for a second, lower back down. Fab, well done ladies, bring in and stretch out. So again, we're just loosening out, get that lower back to move, bring in, and release on the out breath. Coming down again. Extend that foot out, elbow underneath shoulder, and then when you're ready, lift up and hold. Float that top leg out. Keep this torso nice and long, shoulders are stacked, glutes are strong, and we're going to lift and lower. So we're just going to get that movement through, lift and lower. Excellent. Think about that breathing. Again, come into the stretch now if you can feel that through neck and shoulders. If not, we've all got last two. And hold. Lower the hips. Brilliant, well done. And take those hips back into the shell stretch and just have that nice release. Open through the rib cage on the in-breath. And get that nice relax as you breathe out. Breathing in and release. Perfect, well done. Okay, next we're going to come down, so we're lying down on our front. We can start off with our hands just in front. I'm going to face towards so hopefully you can hear me okay. We're going to have feet and knees hip distance again. Think about that pelvis, so you can still take that pelvis through the tilt, forwards and backwards, and find that midpoint. When we're doing exercises in pro, when you're lying on your front, if you feel it through your lower back, you might want to pop something underneath the front of the hips. If you've got a cushion or a jumper, thick jumper, just something to lift up fraction and take that strain from the lower back. So you're going to allow your forehead to rest onto your hands. We're going to stretch those legs away. Thinking about the swim legs that we did in 4-point kneeling, we're just going to lift and extend and lower. So again, thinking about technique. I want you to keep your head low. I'll lift up so you can hear me. Squeeze through that glute, lengthen away out to the end of the foot and lower. Alternate onto the opposite side. Right, just take a second to think about what's going on through those knees. Are those knees bending? Are we just lifting from the ankle and bending at the knee? You want to be getting this movement to come from the hips. Feel those hamstrings and glutes doing the work. And lower. So reach out beyond that foot, strain through that knee, and you want to feel that thigh coming up away from the mat. And lower. We don't want this coming into your lower back, so try and maintain that neutral pelvis and reach away. The legs don't have to come too high. Last one. Lower, and then just release. Use that breathing. And then when you're ready, last exercise in this position, take those arms down, head is going to be out and away. So usually I use a head block now. If you haven't got the equipment at home, just hover, keep that neck nice and long. We're going to do breaststroke preps, where we open up through the front of the chest, palms face into your body, and we just kind of lengthen a little bit. So you feel as if the whole of your spine is lengthening and floating, and then release back down, the arms come onto the mat. Tailbone down towards your toes. Strong through that centre as you lift and float. Arms coming up and release. And again, tailbone and float. So I don't want you to get too much of a curve through that back, so you're overloading the mid-back. Tailbone down. Feel like the whole of the spine is lengthening as one. And release. Tailbone down and float. So it's not the chin or the head coming up, not necessarily the mid-back, but you're trying to lift everything together. Tailbone and float. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Hold, breathe in. And just completely release. You can pop your head back onto your hands. And relax from there. Brilliant. Well done, ladies. And gents, if there's any gents there doing. Breathing in and relax. Perfect. Okay, we're going to bring those hips back into the shell stretch. And then come up into seated. Okay, so you're going to take the feet over towards the right. This is uncomfortable on knees, have them out in front of you, okay? And then we're going to start, it's the last stretch to finish off the Pilates session. We're going to take that right arm over into the side bend, lift up from here, opening out, and then gently draw back down. Rotate that body round towards the left. And return. Lovely. Take those feet over to the opposite side. I'm going to hold here to breathe in. And as you breathe out, take that arm over. Lift up through hip and onto rib cage. Breathing in. And control as you come back. Get that final rotation. And again, in that rotation, use that in-breath to expand through the rib cage. And then release as you breathe out. And come back round to the centre. Brilliant. Okay, so there's your Pilates session. A bit of an introduction into Pilates. Hopefully it's given you a little bit of a better understanding as to what Pilates is if you haven't done it before. If you do it and you love it, then hopefully that's just given you sort of scratch that itch a little bit to kind of get back into a little bit of Pilates. And we've now got Di coming on, so she'll be on the next video doing a nice mindfulness introduction and then going through a meditation for you. So from Liz Havard from the Farm Studio Pilates and Sports Therapies, thank you very much and goodbye.
Hi, my name's Diane and I'm a mindfulness coach. And tonight I'd just like to take the last 10-15 minutes of the class just to walk you through a nice meditation, a guided meditation. Now I'm aware some of you may not have used any meditations before, some of you may have dabbled before, and we may have some real pros in the class. So I'm really just trying to pitch this at everyone, but there's a couple of just guidelines before we start. So the first thing to say is you can't get this wrong. There's no such thing as doing this wrong. At the very worst, you'll end up sitting and having 10 minutes of stillness, which is in itself very relaxing. The main point of mindfulness is not relaxation, although that is a very nice side effect that we normally get through meditation. But really what we're trying to do is we're trying to still the mind. In the same way that the Pilates that we've just done has been about building the body and building the muscles, this is about building the muscle within, about building the strength so that we can take control back of our mind and stop the overthinking. So a lot of us are very prone to negative thoughts, and sometimes it can feel like that gets out of control and that our mind is thinking us. And the main point of mindfulness, which we learn through meditation, is to take that control back and make sure that we are always stronger than our mind. So the meditation tonight has an element of a breathing exercise, and we use counting to anchor the breath. But we'll start with just an introduction into stillness and into meditation. So the other thing to say is that it's normal for thoughts to come into our mind, and what we're not trying to do is we're not trying to push them out of the mind. So just allow any thoughts to come into the mind, but try not to get attached onto them and just gently let them go. We're looking for stillness, so you can either do the sitting up or you can do it lying down on your back, up to you. But what we're trying to do is make sure that the spine is straight, because that just allows the breath and the energy to flow through the whole of the body. And if possible, we want to be still. If you feel that it's going to be more distracting, thinking that you're uncomfortable, then it's obviously better to move and get into a comfortable position. But ideally, we don't want the distraction of the body. And likewise, ideally, we'd like to be doing this in a still environment, but life happens and sometimes we do get interrupted, and sometimes I get interrupted as I'm doing these. So if there is any noise or any interruptions on my end or yours, then I would just ask you again, just try not to get attached onto, try and just let go and bring your focus back to whatever we're concentrating. So The only other guideline is have a bit of fun, see how you feel about this. Try not to have any preconceived ideas about whether you're going to be good or bad at this, whether you're going to enjoy it or not. And let's just see how it unfolds for you. So if you'd like to start by just getting set up, so you can either be sitting in an upright position or you can be lying down. And I think after you've done some exercise, particularly Pilates, yoga, stretching exercises, it's nice to lie back, lying on the ground. If you've got any lower back issues, it can be nice to put a blanket underneath your knees and just check you're going to be warm enough. The other thing I would recommend is that you lie with your arms out to your side with your palms facing up, and that just helps the shoulders relax a little bit. And we're just going to start by giving the shoulders a little bit of a wiggle, and that just helps loosen off any last minute tension, and it also stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and recharge. So if you just like to have a bit of a wiggle and then just let that go, and just allow yourself to be present, lying or sitting on your mat or on your chair. And we're just going to start with a few deep breaths. So we're going to breathe in through the nose and back out through the mouth. Back in through the nose. And empty it fully out through the mouth. And take another nice deep inhale, breathing in lots of nice fresh air deep down into the lungs. And with this next out breath, really sigh it out. You can make it as audible as you want and just enjoy that feeling of letting go. And if you feel comfortable, you can just gently close your eyes. If you'd rather keep them open, just soften the gaze a little. And allow the breath to return to normal. And just notice for a moment how it feels to be lying still with the eyes closed. And now take your attention to your body on the support. Feel the plane of contact between your body and the support. Take your attention into your feet and feel the points of pressure between your feet and the mat or the floor. See if you can really sense that pressure. And then take that awareness up through the legs, noticing again points of pressure, points of contact, up to the tops of the legs, into the pelvis, the lower back, all the way up the spine. See if you can really get a sense of your shoulders flat on the floor, nice and open. And feel the chest opening as you do that, as you relax the shoulders. Feel the contact between your arms and the floor. And take your attention into your hands, getting a sense of how they feel. Maybe the sense of the air on the palms of your hand. And then move that awareness back up through the arms, into the neck, the back of the head, becoming aware of the contact between the head and the floor, the neck nice and long, all very supported. Feeling the weight of the whole body being supported on the floor. Really trusting the support and allowing yourself to be ground down into the support. Let gravity help ground you. And on your next out breath, see if you can let go just a little bit more. Allowing all the muscles that you've just worked to relax and melt away. And bring your attention to your jaw. Just noticing how it feels. The tongue in your mouth. Your teeth. Imagine there's space in between your teeth. Your cheekbones. Your eyes. See if you can relax your eyes. The back of your eyes. Your eyebrows. Your temples. And your forehead. Just allow your whole head to soften, to relax. And just notice how that feels. And now take your attention to your nose, to your nostrils. And in the next out breath, see if you can relax your nostrils. And just watch for a moment your breath entering and leaving your nostrils. Noticing the feel of the fresh air, perhaps the coolness as it enters the nose, and then the warmth as it leaves it. Notice how each breath feels. Is each one the same, or is it different? Is the in-breath the same length as the out-breath? And now see if you can follow that breath into the body. And notice where in your body you feel the breath the most. It might be the chest, or further down in the abdomen. Just taking your attention. And if it helps, you can put your hand on that area. And imagine breathing into that area, into that space. And remember, it's perfectly natural for thoughts to come into your mind. If they do, just welcome them in, but don't attach onto them. Just let them walk on by. We have 60,000 thoughts each day, and our mind continues to think the whole time, in the same way that the heart continues to beat. We can still be still and allow these thoughts to come and go through our mind. So now with your breathing, I'd like you to start counting. We're going to start at 1. On the first in-breath, we're going to count 1. And then on the out-breath, 1. And then on the next in-breath, 2. On the out-breath, 2. 3. And out for 3. And I'd like you to carry that on in your own time, to your own breath. We're not forcing the breath is just completely natural. And I'd like you to keep counting up to 10. And when you get to 10, start back again at 1. If your mind wanders at all, just start your count back again at 1. And see if you can stay with each breath, each count, rather than striving to get to 10. And if you notice your count has gone beyond 10, just gently taking the focus back on the count, starting again at 1. And now let go of awareness, let go of the counting. If your mind wants to think, let it think. If it wants to be still, just let it be still for a couple of moments. And now we're going to gently wake the body back up. So start by coming aware of the contact between your body and the floor, points of pressure and contact. And then start wiggling the fingers and the toes to just gently wake the body up. And then very gently in your own time, open your eyes. And when you feel ready, come back to sitting. And you might want to just sit for a minute or two, just getting an awareness of your surrounding once again, noticing how it's felt to take that time out, that 10-15 minutes out, to be still. And that concludes meditation. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got any questions or you're interested in learning more, then please do contact myself and Liz. Thank you.